Titania Jordan. I am with TJ Muehleman. Not Muehleman.
Not Muehleman.
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 TJ Muehleman. Again, Titania, not Tatiana, as somebody got confused this morning about. That was rough.
Awkward.
But yeah, and we are in the Skyview Ferris wheel in the beautiful city of Atlanta, downtown Atlanta.
Wonderful.
And we are literally talking in circles.
Yes, as we are. And this is really cool. And my ears are starting to pop, which is the best part.
Are you serious?
I can't hear myself.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know what I'm going to say.
Well, that's good and bad, but fun.
Yeah.
And so I want to give a shout out to Jason, who came up with the name Talking in Circles, because you got to give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely.
Especially to people like him. He's got like excellent street cred. So
wonderful guy. I love him.
I love him too.
Yeah.
All right, so you are my first guest.
Very flattered to be the first guest.
On our very first episode of Talking in Circles.
Crazy.
So, where were you born?
I am from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
I lived there till I was 14. Moved to Atlanta with my family, and I am one of the few native Texans that doesn't really consider myself a Texan.
Wow.
And all the people watching who are in Texas right now, not Texan, Texas, they are going to probably find me and try to shoot me. You don't say that you're from Texas and not a Texan. But I'm a Georgian. I'm an Atlantan. I love Atlanta.
I love that. It's bold. You were bold. So.
Thank you.
Well, okay. So you were born in Texas.
Born in Texas.
When did you come to Atlanta?
Came to Atlanta in '91. My stepdad was transferred here. I come from a big family, and we.
How big is it?
There's 7 kids.
Okay.
And, yeah, 7 kids, and it was a house full of mayhem. 6 boys and my poor sister.
Wow.
But she was older and she had already moved out of the house. But we moved here. My family moved back to Texas when I was a freshman in college, and I was like, hell no, am I moving back to? Heck no, am I moving back to Texas? I'm staying here. I love it here, and that was 20 years ago.
Wow. So you've been here since '91.
'91.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Georgia Tech.
Heck yeah, dude.
I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech, and I barely got out of that place.
Wow.
Good Lord.
And what did you study?
I started off as a civil engineering major because I was like, I'm really into roads and bridges. And then I saw how many calculus classes I'd have to take, and I was like, I'm not taking all of those. And I switched to management. And we Georgia Tech people call that the M train. You know, just get the hell on out of there. I graduated in 2000.
Okay. And so what happened after Tech?
So Georgia Tech trains people to be like consultants in the management program, and so I was like, I'm going to go work at Ernst & Young.
Of course.
And make bank.
Right.
And then exactly. Then they saw my GPA and they said, you're not going to work here because you're not very smart. And so the only people that would hire me were startup people. So I was like, I'll do this startup thing for a couple of years, and I loved it. I found that the ability to kind of do a lot of different things and wear a lot of different hats and move up quickly in an organization was something I really loved.
Absolutely.
So I started as a developer and kind of worked my way up before I started doing my own companies.
Okay. And what was your first company?
My first, the one I started, was a company called We & Co. So We & Co, there is a new version of We & Co called HireWire. You may have heard of it. I don't know.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. No, We & Co is designed for the hospitality industry to help people find jobs. My dad was a chef for 50 years, and I bartended my way through college, so I have an affinity for restaurant people. I love restaurants. I love eating in restaurants.
Wow.
I love going to restaurants. I love drinking in restaurants. But we wanted to help people find jobs, and we did that for about 4 years full time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so what happened with We & Co?
We & Co, it was one of those things we realized we weren't the right people to run We & Co. I'm an engineer. I think my talents are in building development teams and building product, and I'm really bad at sales and marketing.
I don't know about that.
Well, so
maybe back then, but you're pretty on point now. But we'll get to that.
Well, so the thing is, selling We & Co, you have to sell a lot of them really fast.
Okay.
And I'm good at enterprise stuff, so like selling, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But selling like 20 a day was something I just couldn't do, and so we just never really got off the ground. We raised about $500,000 in angel money, so
awesome.
I'm very proud of that. That was really cool. We got to 200 paying clients. We got up to 150,000 registered people in Atlanta, and we couldn't bridge that divide to a Series A, just because when you put me in front of an investor, it's like, they're like, that dude, you know, he's an engineer, right? He's not a sales guy. And they were looking for somebody to really sell and really build like a big organization. And so it just sort of petered out. We really worked our ass off on it, and it just never took off.
Okay.
But it was great. It was the most wonderful learning experience I could have ever
those
had.
benchmarks, not too shabby.
I was proud of it.
Yeah, that's really, really sweet.
Yeah.
So then what's next?
So about 3.5 years ago, Jared, my business partner, and I kept running out of money.
Hi, Jared.
Jared, I love you. We kept running out of money, and Jared has a family, and at the time I was single, but I was in my mid-30s. I was like, man, I'm so tired of not having any money.
Oh, it's the worst.
So We & Co was still going, and we're like, we can't take any more money. Our investors are phenomenal. They kept giving us money, and we finally said, no, we're going to just fund it ourselves. Bootstrap it. So we started Standard Code to fund We & Co.
Wow.
And that was what it was intended to do. And so Standard Code was just a development company. We were building websites for people. And we met somebody at Emory University, this guy named Alex. Alex, love you. And we just hit it off with Alex. Alex works in public health. He's an epidemiologist, so he helps figure out where disease is happening and, you know, helps people get better.
Good. That's important.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
So we built something for him, and we just hit it off. He's a super great guy, and so we started doing collaborative projects with him. And before we knew it, we were just this 2-person company that had grown to 4 people, that had grown to 8 people, that had grown to now 13 people.
Oh, that's the best feeling ever.
I know, and all we do is global health stuff. So we built a product called Secure Data Kit that is basically designed to help global health organizations figure out where disease is happening, get drugs to those places as fast as possible, and just organize their data.
Wow.
So yeah, and it's bootstrapped, and as much as I love our old investors from We & Co, we own 100% of it. We are profitable, and it is feeling good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
And what have you learned, let's just say, just over the past year?
Yeah.
What are some takeaways from people watching who heard, oh my gosh, Titania's interviewing TJ Muehleman. Like, I want to hear what this dude has to say. What do you have to say to them?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say quit whatever you're doing.
Yes.
Start a company.
Yes.
It's painful. It's time-consuming. It's all-encompassing.
Yeah.
And it is the most rewarding thing I've ever done. I think people look at startups and they see this sort of, it's almost, glamour is not the right word, but they think it's fun, and they think it's, you know, they're going to get rich quick.
Yeah.
And the reality is you don't. I mean, no, right? What were they thinking? I'm not rich. I'm a 100-aire now. But it's so rewarding, and it's so fun, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else. But I remember Alan Nance told me,
Hey, Alan.
Alan, we did a program called Flashpoint at Georgia Tech, and Alan told us, he pulled us aside and said, you're gonna be in year 7 before you start to really figure out what you're doing, and figure out if this is even something that's going to make money, right? You're going to feel comfortable. And I was like, what? And he's right. We're starting year 7, and we're actually hitting our stride. And so I'd say be patient, but go for it.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Let's see if they'll let us. Will they let us go around again? Maybe. Can we go?
Yeah, she's going to let us go.
Yeah. Thank you. This is what happens when you're filming, talking in circles, and you're having such a good conversation.
Yeah.
You want to keep it going.
Yeah.
And thank you to the people at Skyview Atlanta who are just letting us go around again.
They're really nice people.
Because that's one of the reasons why I think we both love Atlanta, right? The Southern hospitality.
I tell you what, that is something, if I'm starting a company today, and now I've never lived on the West Coast, but I spent a good deal of time in my various companies out on the West Coast. I love the West Coast. It is for bold decision making. Crazy things happen on the West Coast, but if you're starting a company, the Southern hospitality and the willingness to let people grow things, I think there's no better place to do it than here.
Well, and the cost of living.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The access to certain types of capital, the resources, and the community here.
Yeah.
It's like no other.
It really is, and I tell you, the access to talent, I mean, we have an undervalued talent pool in Atlanta.
Oh my gosh.
You know, you've got Georgia Tech, Emory, Morehouse, Spelman, UGA, Georgia State, all within, 75 miles. I mean, you can't, there are very few places in the country where you're going to have that kind of access to talent. And if Atlanta could do anything, it would be figuring out how to keep people here, because there is a brain drain. Like, people come out of tech and they just get the first plane out to the West Coast because there's so much opportunity there.
Yeah.
And I wish they'd realize how much there is here.
I haven't had to leave yet.
I know, I haven't either.
Yeah, we've been able to do some pretty amazing things.
Yeah, agreed.
So let's talk about Switchyards.
Yeah.
You're there.
I'm at Switchyards.
Switchyards Downtown Club. It's awesome.
Yes, it's wonderful. We've known Michael and David for 6 or 7 years. In fact, it was the first meeting when we started We & Co. The first people we called were Scout Mob. And I was blown away because the Scout Mob is like, if you're in Atlanta and startup scene, Scout Mob is this sort of mythical thing, right? Like
the unicorn.
They're, Michael's a unicorn and David's like Pegasus, and together they form this
Pegacorn.
beautiful Pegacorn. Can we trademark that? I'm buying the domain name right now. They took our meeting and I'm like, holy cow, who are these two like amazingly awesome dudes taking our meeting? And they have been so gracious with their time over the years.
Oh my gosh.
And so when they started Switchyards, we were actually in another place and we're like, where are we going to park ourselves? We were kind of growing and we're this awkward size for Switchyards, and we looked at the basement, and the basement looks like your grandmother's basement. It's kind of dingy and crazy, which
but
is
it's
perfect.
Like way cooler.
It is awesome. It's great. So we parked ourselves at Switchyards, even though we're not a consumer company. But we have a consumer background, right? We & Co is very much a consumer company, and we bring consumer thought process to enterprise. So enterprise is boring. It's just like, oh, we're going to build a database, but if you can make it cool and fun and interesting, then people will use it and embrace it. And so that's kind of, we adhere to that mindset.
So a few things that we talked about when we were getting our bearings in the first ever episode here.
Yeah.
We talked about productivity, email management, branding. We talked about a lot of great things.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'd like to bring up is how you stay on top of like your life, because this thing is just always, it's like, hey, talk to me. And I'm like, I want to, but I can't all the time. Sleep.
My rule of thumb is I turn off all push notifications.
For everything. So except?
Not even email. I don't get push notifications for email.
Okay. iMessage, okay.
Because usually it's somebody texting me like, I need you to get something at the grocery store, and you never say no to that text. You always say, yes, I'll do it.
Especially with toilet paper.
Exactly, with toilet paper. No, iMessage, but everything else I turned off. My wife and I have a very strict rule of no phones during meals at all. Like, phones go away. And so you just have to prioritize, right? And for me, email is a priority. I prioritize email, but everything else takes a back seat.
Do you do batching at all, or are you kind of coming as it? Okay.
Even when, and this drives my wife bonkers, on vacation, like I set aside time in the morning and I answer emails even on vacation. That way I don't come home to a deluge. But I'm big on, I'm good at multitasking. I'm not good at anything else except for ping pong. And Jared, I'm right. But no, in all seriousness, like multitasking is something I'm very fortunate that I can handle. I can handle multiple streams of information at once, and that's served me well. But I seek out the information. The information can't come to me. Does that make sense?
Totally. So what are some of your favorite places to hang out, like in your downtime? We interact a lot on Instagram. Yeah. That's probably my favorite place to be. Yeah. When I'm not working, which I'm always working. Yeah. What else?
I mean, I love Instagram too. It's a new communication platform, right? Like it's a way of also being non-controversial, which is so nice. I mean, Facebook and Twitter got so controversial that I left it.
Which is sad. It's sad for people on Twitter that TJ's not there.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't say anything interesting, so you're not really missing out. But no, Instagram, it's fun because it's non-controversial. But outside of that, I have a 4-month-old, so my wife and I spend a lot of time in her backyard.
She's the cutest, by the way.
Thanks. She's pretty swell. It's all my wife's doing that she's cute. I had obviously nothing to do with that. I really enjoy, we live in Kirkwood, so we go to a lot of the kind of haunts in Kirkwood and Oakhurst, and I travel a lot for work. So I get to go to some really, really cool places. I'm going to the Congo in a couple weeks.
Wow.
So we get to, I'm very, very fortunate, and my life has been very good to me. I've got no complaints.
And so, hopefully, somebody will watch this.
Gosh, everybody watch this. Please.
And maybe even someone will watch this that, like, you might want to work with or could help you in your goals, although you're already, like, doing it #like a boss, but I don't talk in hashtags, by the way. I don't know why I just did that, but it worked. But like, what are some of your goals for 2017, and what do you need help with? And anybody watching, like, hey, help TJ.
So we built this really badass database for global health organizations.
Okay.
We're a mission-driven company. By that I mean, yes, I would love to get rich one day. That would be awesome. But we're not driven by money. We're really driven by building software that helps people. And I know that sounds trite, or not trite, but cliche, but it's true. We really want to build things that are helpful. So if you were to come to me and say, I got this great idea to build a Salesforce automation tool, I'd be like, go to hell. I would.
Okay.
I'm very bold, you said.
No, that's fine.
But
I mean,
I like helpful things. I want to help people. And technology has the opportunity to help people. And right now I feel like technology is doing more harm than good sometimes. And so how can we use technology to find disease or identify problems or you know, get drugs or help or assistance to the right place? So that's the database we've built. It's designed to help, you know, these impoverished parts of the world. So if you're out there and you work in the public health community and you need a really cool database, Secure Data Kit is for you.
so how do you contact you? Or how do other people contact you? You know how to contact you.
If you come to Skyview, I'll probably be here. I'm just going to be on this thing all the time now.
All the time.
If you go to Google, standard,
the Google.
just go to Google and type standard code.
Standard code.
Can't mess that up. We're the #1 search result, which sounded
sweet.
very like used car salesman, but
no,
we're
not
number
at all.
one.
Number one.
Yeah.
Standard code. You go to standard code.
Yeah.
And what's the best way? Let's say people don't want to go to the Google. Is there like a, I don't know, an email address or phone number?
The problem is our domain name is it's standardco.de,
which is really cool, by the way, from like a branding.
Everybody screws it up.
Well, yeah.
And everybody thinks we're German, so that's why they give the fancy Muehleman pronunciation.
Muehleman.
But TJ at standardco.de.
All right. Awesome. Well, TJ, thank you for being my first guest.
This is really impressive.
This is awesome. I'm so excited I got to be a part of your first Skyview experience.
Yeah.
Can you see the city of Atlanta, by the way? Like, can you see the skyline? This is really awesome.
Yeah.
Like, we're in a great city.
I love Atlanta.
We're in 2017.
Yeah.
We're on the precipice of some really big things.
Yep, I agree.
Let's make some big things happen this year.
Let's do it.
Should we fist bump?
Let's
or
do
like
it.
high five?
Or high five. I'm a high fiver.
High fiver.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.